as I said before, this main session is actually not the lecture itself, but it's the preparation for you to be ready to use and to learn by the lectures. Okay, I'm Jorji. I'm working with Masahiro and Chigusa, that was there, and the TAs that helped to do this. And I just want to mention that we three at the R-CCS belongs to this called Operations and Computer Technology Division. And if you look at the R-CCS website, there's an organization chart, Director Satoshi Matsuoka, and also one of the deputy director, Professor Kengo Nakajima, already you know. We have several research teams, and we have several people that use Fugaku for the research, development, and other things. But I belong to a group that is not the user of the supercomputer, but we operate the supercomputer and provide this hardware and software resource to the users. And actually, where I'm working in this division, we have different units, each one responsible for different tasks, missions. And I'll just say that the three from the R-CCS side that are participating in this school to help you belongs to different units. And I need to mention one group that is not here, but this is a group that's led by this Yuji Iguchi-san. People who have login issues, certificate issues, actually who work behind to solve your problem are this unit. Of course, there are other logistics that for the certificate, we have the Kawashima-san and Kamei-san, other people that also help you to be ready to use this. Well, talking about, since I'm not in the user side, that is, using the supercomputer to do research or development, I'll just talk about what our a bit more things about what this HPC or this system is used. For those who enter in the building, in the left side, there are some monitors that you can see almost near real-time operational status of the Fugaku. And actually, oh, it's not here. There's a link here. These slides will be sent to you later after the session. And there's no need to write or to memorize and other things. The thing that I want to say is there are a lot of systems and there are several sensors and other log data that we collect and is used for the monitoring and to see if there is anomaly and other. So these things, and just to see you how complex are these systems, we have a group in this Advanced Operational Technology Unit. They are running all this system that is called Operational Data Analytics. That is, they collect the data in near real time for the analysis. Actually, to operate an HPC system, we have all these infrastructures that helps. For the computational side, we have several servers, storage. Of course, for the communication, we have the switches, routers, firewall, and nothing. And as our laptops we need electricity, and it generates heat. We need to extract the heat, cool down. So for this, we have also all these facilities for the power delivery, for the cooling. And if you have a chance, if you walk in this corridor and goes until the end, you can see this small building that has a cooling tower at the top. And in this cold season, you can see a lot of water vapors exit into the atmosphere, since if you take a look in the entrance, there is a graph showing the power consumption of the Fugaku. It's around 15 to 17 megawatts. So this power becomes heat. So all this heat is extracted and is put to the atmosphere. Well, this is just the thing that we operate, and this is running 24 hours and 7 days a week. So I said in the Slack that the support will be scarce on the weekends, but the people who are working on this part, they work 24 hours. There's no weekends, is also working, but people that works as a proxy, that we ask for a problem, they only works in the weekdays and for the administrative time. So the thing is, if you have any problem, especially accessing Fugaku, I ask you to solve this until the end of today, because tomorrow and afternoon, the support site, the support system will be very scarce. Okay? So, let's go to the main part, that is, to use the computational resource of the Fugaku. Traditionally, we are recommending to use the normal command line terminal. But from September of the last year, we changed this default mode to access the Fugaku via this web-based application that is called Open On Demand. Actually, the Open On Demand is open source software. It's not developed by us, but we did some customizations, and we have some changings, and we call Fugaku Open Demand. And after installing the client certificate on the web browser, and when you are ready to connect this Open Demand, you will be able to use that we call Fugaku environment. Well, this compute node that we call these racks are obviously the main part, that the part that is used for doing simulation, but we have several auxiliary systems, like the login nodes that is used to enter, to prepare your applications, to submit the jobs, another thing. We have the storage, where the people put your data, and after simulation, the result is also output. And we have also a server that is called pre-post environment. If you consider simulation, the main part, before the simulation, the thing that is needed before the simulation, we call pre-processing, like a mesh construction, data subdivision. And after the simulation, we have that we call post-processing, like visualization, data analysis. So we have all these system, including the compute nodes, the main part, and all other things that we call Fugaku environment. So if you can connect via if you can log into the open demand, you can access all these things. And that's all that you want, not want, that you need for the school. And look into the survey. Probably most of you had no problem to access. And for those who are accustomed to use traditional terminal, like doing Linux or have a Mac OS, or in the Windows, we have a Windows subsystem for Linux, you can still use them. There's no problem. And this is what I can say, the main part of the thing. And I would just want to add more information about the Fugaku to show how it works for the regular researchers. Actually, we are operating this Fugaku. This system is part of that. It's called HPCI. It's a HPC infrastructure that is funded by the Japanese government. And Fugaku is just one system inside this infrastructure. If you look into this HPCI website, we will see a lot of a list of the supercomputers that are providing computational resource to the HPCI. In addition to this Fugaku, for instance, the University of Tokyo, where the Professor Kengo Nakajima is responsible, they are also providing a system that has the same architecture of the Fugaku, but also another one that is based on Intel CPU and also NVIDIA GPU. Yeah. And if you look in the list, in the top there is a RIKEN R-CCS is here, that we are providing the Fugaku. But RIKEN has several research centers. And in the main campus that is near to the Tokyo, there is the RIKEN Information R&D and Strategy Headquarters. They had another supercomputer that is mostly used for this RIKEN internal use, but part of the computational resource is also provided to this HPCI, how can I say, this via HPCI. So, this is the reason that to have or to apply for the Fugaku account, you firstly needed to obtain the HPCI ID. That is, for any users that use this HPCI system, the list of this, they need to have, they are controlled by this HPCI ID. This is a unique ID for all users. And after obtaining this HPCI ID, you can apply to each of the supercomputers. And talking more specifically, in the case of the Fugaku, the page on the left side is a page from the HPCI, and there is information about the operation and user selection of the Fugaku. If you read the part of what is explained this HPCI site, you'll see that RIKEN is the installer of Fugaku and is in charge of development and maintenance. But there is another organization, this independent to the RIKEN, that is called RIST, Research Organization for Information Science and Technology. And they are in charge of usage promotion. That is, it includes the user selection and support. So, who decided that you can use the Fugaku? It's not the RIKEN, but the RIST side. And for this school, also, there's a need to apply to use the computational resource to the RIST. And the thing that I want to say is, the machine is here in the RIKEN's infrastructure, in the building, but RIKEN is not the responsible, or RIKEN has no rights to decide who will use and for what purpose they use. It's all decided by another institution, and we should follow all the rules that the RIST put when using, when asking to use this system. Okay. Before accessing, not before, when you install the client certificate on the web browser, you are able to access the Fugaku portal or Fugaku main website, and via Fugaku portal, you can use the Fugaku Open On Demand. And this comes from the Fugaku portal, and anyone can access your account and check this user portal, and will show which project you can access, or which project you are belonging, and the information regarding the project. So, for this specific case of this ASEAN school on HPC and AI, there is a group ID that is HP 250477, and they allocate number of computational resources that the entire group can use, and the list of the users that belongs to this project. That is, all these users are allowed to use the computational resource of this group ID. So I hope that all of you are inside this group list. Without this, you're not enabled to access the computational resource. And you can see that it was activated in the Christmas of last year, and it will be valid until end of the April. So, after this school, you can still continue to use accessing all the Fugaku environment until the end of the April. And the computational resource, that is the main part, will be available to you until the April 29. But you have 1 month more to get back the data on the storage. That is, until April 29, you can submit jobs for the simulation, that is, using the compute nodes, and the results you can analyze on the pre-post environment, or you can download until the end of the May. 29 is not the end, but after this, May 29, all the data on this project will be erased. So For those who you use after the school and you use until the limit of this time, be aware. This deadline for moving data is strict. So if you have any data and you want to use it, please do that until this deadline, okay? And this April 29 is the limit to use the compute nodes. But one thing that I want to ask you is, this project ID HP250477 was requested to be used for this school. That is, the computational resources are available to use in the purpose of the school. So, and if you have any doubts, please consult the lectures. If this is within it. Because this project was authorized by RIST, not the RIKEN, to be used for the purpose of the school. Okay? And for those who become interested to use Fugaku for your own research, development, other thing, if you look into the HPCI website, on the bottom part of this, there are several calls for proposals, and I recommend you who want to use, there is inside this call for proposal, there is one that is called Fugaku Trial Access Project. And inside these different modes of trial project, there is one in the middle that's called first touch option. It gives you only 1,000 node hours, but it's just maybe, it is well, the application part is not our responsibility, but I can say you that this is a web-based application, very simple application, that do not require a lot of things to apply. So if you're, after the school, if you become interested to use Fugaku, please look to this HPCI website. And of course, there are a lot more projects that you can try. And it is open not only for these Japanese domestic researchers, but also for people from outside. And other thing is, although I think Professor Kengo Nakajima already mentioned in the morning session, at the RIKEN R-CCS, we have this internship and student trainee program that people, not only from Japan, but international students or young researchers can try to apply. This is if you look in the RIKEN R-CCS website, you find this one. And from here, you can work with researchers or the research teams that are using Fugaku for research. And this, if you're interested, I recommend you look into the website and find. There are some call for applications. There's a period for the applications, and some of them, I'm just repeating that what the Professor Kengo Nakajima said, but if you need more information, please look to this website. Okay. Well, from here, Uh, I just prepared these slides in the case if someone are facing any problem to access the Fugaku. But from the survey, I understood that there's no much need to say, just things that you obtain this startup guide, and I believe that you follow these step-by-step procedures to install the client certificate, and you are at the stage. By installing this client certificate on the web browser, it becomes possible to connect to this Fugaku portal. And some notes that I want to inform about this is, one, this Fugaku client certificate is personal. That is, you cannot share with other users, and this client certificate is only be used if you, that is, if you install on a web browser and you connect to the Fugaku, actually only you, the owner of the certificate, is allowed to use it. So to use with other person that has no authorization, that is, that has no client certificate, is prohibited. Please be in mind that even when you are opening this web browser with this client certificate, it's only you that you can see, to connect, get information, to access information. Okay? And from here, you can connect to the open demand. Well, there is a link in this Fugaku portal, and can also directly type this URL, ondemand.fugaku R-CCS RIKEN JP. You'll be being to the same direction. Well, and from the survey, I saw that most of the users you are ready to connect to this open demand portal. And from this open demand portal, there is this icon, this button, called Fugaku Shell Access. You can open a web-based terminal that you can do anything that you was custom to use in this, your own client terminal. And I believe that other people that answer that they are using accessing via terminal, you can add your SSH public key via this portal, because the private key becomes in your local machine to connect via SSH. And by doing this, you can use any of the terminal that you're accustomed to use. Before September, we were recommending to use this PuTTY, it's an application, but you can use any terminal that is native to this, your own OS on your own local machine. And regarding this SSH key, the pair of the SSH key should not be shared. That is, Uh, if you create the spare of the SSH key, you put this public key, and only who generated this public key, the private key, can be the owner. We had some cases that the same public key was installed on different accounts. That is, they are using this public and private key on different machines. When we actually, when we check, when we see this, the account will be automatically locked and will be under investigation. So please, if you are using SSH, don't share this SSH pair to access the Fugaku. Okay? And this information that I'm saying, actually, you can look in this. There are some notes that for using Fugaku. There is this website where these user manuals for the Fugaku. This site became public, and there is no need for the client certificate to access it. And you can also access directly from the Fugaku portal. We have this system usage and all this information that help the developers, users to use Fugaku. And at the bottom part of the web page, there are some workshop materials. During these 5 years of operation, we had several hands-on sessions, workshops, and we have one that is called Fugaku User Briefing. It was held almost bi-monthly, but it is a user briefing. It was conducted by the RIKEN side and also the RIST side. So all the information for the users were sent via this user briefing. So, and if you click in this workshop material, you bring to this page, and inside this, actually, the last one was on September, and the next one will be held now on March. And there is a, click here, there is an operation status report for the Fugaku that is done by the RIKEN side, but the main part for the users is given by the RIST. So if you click in this report by the help desk, you see these important notes for using Fugaku. And although the meeting was in September, last one, the document is updated constantly. And the last one is from last month, 15th of January. And the thing that I said is put here. Reinforcing that you should not share your account. The account is personal. Okay? And both for the client certificate and also when I'm using SSH keys. Okay? And also, there is also a link to these regulations for using Fugaku. Probably, if you did not see or ways, I ask you to take a time to really, there are just 4 pages, and there are rules that you should, that not you, but all Fugaku users, that is, including the RIKEN staff, should follow all these rules. Okay. And to use Fugaku, there are a lot of manuals. Uh, you can, from the Fugaku portal, there is a window that's called resources. There are manuals, user guides, and all the things. We have a user guide for each of the system, people's nodes, compute nodes. We have some services like the open demand. We have also manual for this. Also for the developers, have part of the, regarding the compilers. We have also the measure performance data and all the things. And for those who are interested to use Fugaku after the school, there are also the available software that you can use directly, because these software are installed on the system side. Of course, you can bring your own software, build on your local environment, and use it. But there are several software that are already installed on the Fugaku side. Some of them are tuned, optimized by people from RIST, Fujitsu, and other part, and you can use it. And also for the open demand, if you look into the graphical user interface, you will see in the top right side, there is a link to the manual. And if you have any doubts or want more information about this service, you can open this manual and look to this. Okay. And if you, after school, if you have any problem, you can, there is this we call support site. And I also mentioned in the Slack channel that we are operating AI-based support system. This support site is for all Fugaku users. But actually, even non-Fugaku users can access this site and can ask or get try to get information about Fugaku. So, there are several FAQs that you can check previous questions, answers. But if there is no information about what you're looking for, there's a button that's inquire. And it will open a page that we call Ask Donna. That is an AI assistant. Well, even if you ask to assistant and there is no answer, you just need to type, I need human support. So this will connect to the support site that a person in the, actually this user support is not the RIKEN, the RIST is the responsible. So people for the RIST will receive your question or information and they will try to answer. If the RIST cannot answer, it's more technical, so they ask RIKEN. So inside our operation division, or staff of the operation division, or some contractors, like the developer, if it's more technical. So probably other part of the external helpers will answer or try to answer this help. Just a question. How many of you know or just followed it? Oh, great. Did you try to type something? It was helpful, not so much. This system could help your answered your question? No. Okay. This information is great because this is still in development. So this kind of feedback is important, try to improve the system. Okay, so summarizing, if you need some information, please look for the Fugaku portal. There are resources, a lot of manuals, and we have also this support site that you can try to find some answer, and both via machine and also this human support. Okay? So far, is there any questions? Actually, the important thing here is to make you prepare to use the machine to be able to follow the lectures. Because this session is just a preparation for the main lectures. So, if you have any problem, or if you're not following what I'm saying, you can stop anytime, can raise your hands, ask questions. So, if it's okay to continue, I will move forward. It's okay? So, if your client certificate is installed, you can access the Fugaku portal and also the open demand. And I will show now mostly how you can use this environment. That is not the main compute nodes that you call compute nodes, but login nodes, storage, and this pre and post environment. Well, as I said in the beginning, by clicking this show access, you will see a terminal, and if you look into this terminal, it will appear login and a number. And this number should be between 1 and 6. That is, we have 6 login nodes. And which login nodes will be connected, it's a kind of lottery. So, but if you look login something, actually you are at one of the 6 login nodes. And you can do this via SSH. Some users are using your own terminal. By connecting via SSH, you also are prompted by this login something. If you appear login, so you are at the login nodes. Well, for what purpose these login nodes can be used? From the login nodes, you can access the storage, you can submit jobs, you can prepare your application. That is, you can compile, you can use compilers, that is, tools that is available to build applications. But the login nodes is not for computational intensive task. That is, you can use for building your application, but if you okay, before talking about these computational intensive things, there is a important note for those who are using SSH connection to the login nodes. The default, not the default. If someone wants to connect to the login nodes, and from the login nodes, connect to another system, please do not put your SSH private key on the login nodes. You should use this SSH agent forwarding. Okay? If someone put this SSH private key on the login nodes, your account can be locked. Lock is stopped. So please don't do that. And do this SSH minus large A and something for setting. And regarding these computational intensive things, there are pre-processing that can require large amount of memory or computational nodes, computational power, that's like the meshing. So we put as a guideline for the resource usage. If you think that your pre-processing and post-processing will consume more than 12 gigabytes of memory, or if you are doing something parallel, not multi-threading is using more than 8. In this case, please use the pre-post environment. Actually, this login nodes is a shared nodes for all Fugaku users. So sometimes there are users that run heavy, the computation intensive task on the login nodes. So, and the login nodes become very unresponsive. So to avoid this, please, if you have any pre-processing or post-processing or some preparation for the simulation that consumes a lot of computational resource, like a memory or cores, please use this pre-processing environment. I will talk about this pre-processing environment later, but this is just notes for using these Fugaku login nodes. Okay.